Hey, Diet Disruptors, Carrie here. And if you've been following us for a while, you know how much I love doing this podcast with people. And today I have people, and they are a force to be reckoned with. Forss, Forss, because that is their last name, Ron and Karen Forss. Hello, you two.
Hello.
So excited to have you here. Rod and Karen have been working with us since the beginning of February of 2023. And their coach, Coach Michelle K, said, you have to have them on your podcast. So I am so excited that you are both here. Is this your first podcast?
Yes.
I love that. I love it. So the two of you have been working with us, and I love when couples work together. Today, we have a theme of teamwork and also saying yes to yourself by saying no to others so you can say yes to others. So, yes. Karen, I want to talk to you first a little bit about how you found us and what made you decide that this was something you needed to do. Tell us a little bit about your story, because it's a good one, and there was a lot going on when you found us. So how'd you find us, and what made you kind of think we were different?
So how far do you want me to go back?
Well, go to your phone call. Go to your initial phone call with your coach, and what did you share with your coach then?
Well, I shared, I had a gastric bypass in 2008. I knew I had to do something, and I lost, 120 pounds maybe.
Because at that point you were well over 300 pounds, I think. Is that right?
Yes.
Mm-hmm. Yep. And so then you lost about a little over 100 with the surgery.
Right. And so then after you do that and you get down to you lose a certain amount, you plateau, and then you put some back on.
Yep. Because I always say you can have a smaller stomach, but you can still spike your blood sugar. And if your blood sugar is all over the place, it doesn't matter.
Right. Yep. So, with that, and so I was always kind of looking at different programs and everything. And to be honest with you, I don't really remember. I don't know if it popped up in my Facebook.
I'm in everybody's feeds. Somehow I show up in people's feeds.
Rather because it was Facebook. So I looked at it and I was like, oh, it looks really good. Because, like I said, I did the surgery, kind of follow the program, you do the protein drinks, you do all that for your whatever. And then when you get comfortable with where you reach your plateau, then you don't have as much motivation to continue, really.
Well, plus, both of us tend to be emotional eaters. So when life takes a turn, guess what? That's our comfort spot.
Exactly. Rod, that's so important. So tell a little bit about your story too, because you went down that similar, you were down that same path and struggled. You had surgery as well. Was that the same time?
No, I started out when I had the surgery. I was 420 pounds, and I did it several years after Karen. I didn't want to do the same surgery she did,
right?
So I put it off for a while, and I had the sleeve done instead of total bypass.
Yep,
and did great. Lost it was like 90 pounds, and was doing really good. And then life happened, and kind of took a south turn for me.
Yeah,
and a lot of it came back on, and it was real tough out. I mean, I'm down to 308 pounds right now.
Well, when you came back, when you guys both said yes to us, especially you, Karen, because you're the one that had that initial call, had you kind of gained all of it back by then, both of you?
No, actually, I was like sitting right at 300 pounds.
Okay. And Rod,
you know,
what about you?
I was 360.
Okay. So you had both kept a little bit of it off.
Yeah.
But at the end of the day, the bigger piece and this is true for all of us, you know, like our whole thing is like, let's get rid of the scale, right? I mean, it was about health, right? And Rod, you recently had a 14-hour, very strenuous day, and you said to me you never could have done that a year ago.
A year ago, no way. No.
Yeah.
It was amazing. I just kept going and go. And I was working with a bunch of young kids too. And I kept up with them. I was just shocked.
I love it. I love it. I know you're both retired. You're both retired. And Rod, I know like when when we were talking a little bit before, talk about like when you first started working with us, what your pant size were and what your pant size is now.
Well, I started out, I was a tight 44. And right now I am a 38 and almost a 36.
That's awesome. Awesome.
Almost down to 2.
I mean, and you're eating carbs and you're eating all day long.
I haven't been that since the 70s.
Oh my gosh. That's amazing.
Before we were married.
I love that. I love that. But so Karen, when and you both started about a year ago, before started working with us, you were like, we have to do something. You knew that. And you, Karen, convinced Rod to do what?
Well, this lady had a post on Facebook about, how she'd been 300 pounds and was, had lost a bunch of weight, but she was a personal trainer. And so I was like, I think I want to go talk to her and see what because I knew we had to do something. We had a trip coming up in August. It was the end of May, right about our anniversary. And so I told Rod, I says, I want to go meet with her and I want you to come with me. And he's like, no.
Nope. Rod, why did you say no? I think that's really important. Like, why were you like, no, I don't want to do this? Insecurity
and just me, and
it can be intimidating to go to a gym.
Sure.
Well, the place is called the Muscle Shack.
Oh yeah.
Big guys in there,
Yeah.
Turned out to be some of the sweetest guys people we've ever met.
Yeah.
So our fear drives a lot, right? Especially around insecurity. And that's so interesting. That we talk about 1% a day, but just think about that. You were at a place where you knew you needed to make improvements, but it was like, that's a scary thing to do. And I can see why people then just say, I'd rather not do that than put myself in that vulnerable spot. I already don't feel great about myself. And now I'm just going to put myself in front of a mirror in front of these people and make myself feel worse.
And I think when you have a little better understanding of exactly what exercise or workout will do for you, it's like we are doing weights, not necessarily cardiac or cardiology.
Yep.
But you can see behind us, we have a couple exercise bikes. So what we were doing was we were coming out here and we would ride the exercise bike like 20 to 30 minutes before we went to work out.
Wow.
So that we could focus on the weights while we were there and do that. So Rod enclosed this, we're in our outside patio right now. So he enclosed this like for the winter so we could come out here and, be able to do some of the cardiac before we go to.
But this was a big step for you guys because this was before you met us. You were like, we're going to go to the gym. And then Rod, you finally agreed. You were like, okay, I guess I'm going. And then now you don't want to leave the gym. Is that right, Rod?
Yeah.
Well, see, I was just going to go there to observe.
Oh.
Yeah. I'll do this at home,
Yes. But what happened? You started moving.
Pulled me in, the trainer. I mean, she's wonderful. We love her. And she pulled me in just slowly and just talking to us. And now I love it. I don't like missing it.
Yeah. But this is why we are all about 1%, right? And show up some sort of way. And then by the time you found us, it was like, okay, you had your sea legs on, like you knew you were doing something, but there had to be the next step. And so Karen, why did you say yes? And then Rod, my question for you is, there's a lot of stuff out there. What made you believe Karen in saying that this was different? So Karen, why did you say yes?
Well, when I talked to, I don't know who
Coach Samantha. I think you talked to Coach Samantha.
Yes. I talked to Samantha, and we're just, she just kind of talks to you and gets to know you a little bit and kind of goes into the program a little bit. And I was like, I think it's I guess I realized it was more than exercise and diet. It was a mindset. And not knowing how to put that into practice, it sounded to me, I felt like it was, the program was something that would help me get there.
Yeah.
You know?
Yeah.
And
I mean, because Rod, you even just said you guys were both emotional eaters. Mindset's the key. And Rod, what made you say, like, hear from Karen and then say, okay, I think we should do this?
Well, I'm going to be honest. When she started checking into this, I mean, a lot of stuff on Facebook is doo-doo, you know, it's just not worth checking into.
Yeah.
And I backed her because this is my wife, you know, this is something she believed in. She really wanted to go for it. So I wasn't 100% behind the program. I'll be honest.
That's okay.
And after we got into it, it took me a little bit, and finally it just clicked, and off we went.
Yeah.
The other thing I think that helps, because he really likes to cook. Not that I don't like to cook. Our kitchen is very small, so you know what? He's got it.
Yep.
You know, and so we would just kind of like remind each other about when it was time to eat, or kind of plan. We used some of the recipes and kind of modified some other recipes to make them more compliant. Yeah.
We have to be careful what we eat, because sometimes with our surgeries, some of the meats don't work.
Yep.
You know, like rice for her doesn't sit well. You know?
Yep.
So,
but that's where, this is why it's all about you learning so much that you can then really make this work for your own lifestyles. Now, you all saw, like, it was, I love that you jump started yourself in the gym. Not everybody does that, and that's fine, right? We meet you where you are, but you were already moving your body. What did the nutrition piece do when it came to enhancing the benefits of exercise?
I think with the better choices of foods, we just felt better.
Yeah.
Because, you know, we're giving our body what we needed.
Yeah.
Rod was taking ibuprofen on a regular basis. And after a
bunch of it,
you know, I mean, he doesn't even, I was taking it maybe once a day. He was taking it a lot.
Wow.
And so I think that the inflammation just like totally, well, not totally, but because, you know, I don't know, but it just significantly went down.
Yeah.
And I can tell the difference. I can tell the difference if I have any sugar or anything. It's just like, why am I hurting? Oh, because I did that.
Yeah.
We made ice cream sandwiches for a birthday party. I had one. I never felt so miserable in all my life.
Wow.
It was, it's so well.
Rod, you literally, like, I say when people come to us, it's like they have a callus. You know, when you have a callus on your hand and it's rough and it's hard, and so you don't really feel the pain of like a sharp object so much because you have this callus. Well, when you start working with us and moving your body and doing the things that we talk about, and yet eating carbs and eating all day, you're starting to remove that callus. So when you put a sharp object, like, you know, something that your body's not going to agree with, it will now be able to tell you, and you'll be able to understand it. Do you feel like you guys understand more about food and your bodies as well as your mindsets?
Oh, absolutely. Absolutely.
I love
you know, it's mindset is 100% the biggest part of it for me, I feel, you know, because just having the understanding, having the information, and then being able to make those choices to, you know, you like you've said, or like I've seen in some videos, you know, sometimes, yeah, you're gonna, you know, you have an appreciation meal, but you know what? Sometimes you don't appreciate that meal.
Sometimes it makes you feel like garbage.
Exactly. And, you know, I'm more sensitive that with my surgery than Rod is, you know, and I just want to get rid of it and be done.
Yeah, but you guys are on the path, and I love this because I want to see you all in another year, right? Like, you're going to keep getting stronger and younger. And that's really where you said yes to yourself But in that process, you had to learn how to say no to your family so you could actually show up for them. Say a little bit more about that.
Yeah, I think one of the biggest things, saying no, but setting boundaries.
There you
know,
go.
like, okay, people, our workout time is important to us. Now, we watch our granddaughter and our grandson. He's actually in school, but the granddaughter is not. And so what we've done is we've said, hey, because the gym's not like 2 blocks away from their house. You're going to go to work, then you can drop her off at our workout place.
I love
it.
it.
We'll meet you there.
Love it.
We're not giving up our workout time. That's something that we will not say no to. We're not.
That was happening.
And
she would bring them over, drop them off, and run.
Well, that's where the boundaries are so important, and it's so easy. So, and we talk, you know what I mean when I talk about rackets. Like, we have these beliefs in our head that we can't do something, and it gives us the excuse to not show up. So a lot of times, grandparents, especially, if your kid needs something for your grandkid, the racket in your brain is, well, I have to go do that. I can't they need me. I can't work out because they need me. And that gives you the excuse to not have to show up for yourself. Well, I don't have a choice. But what you did was you said, and we absolutely will watch the grandkids, and you have to work around this, because in order for us to be able to show up for our grandkids, we have to show up for ourselves first.
Yep. I think one of the other things that happened this year, like April, I think, we found last year we had a lawn service. Now we have 1 acre and a third, and a lot of it is grass that has to be mowed. Yeah, we had this lawn service that came and did it for really very inexpensive. Well, this year he decided he wasn't going to do it. And we're like, and so, well, we had a riding lawnmower, but it didn't work.
Okay.
It took me 4 hours to push mow this lawn. I would not have been able to do that. And it was like 3 weeks or 4 weeks before we had a riding lawnmower that worked. I'm like, so
both of you are losing weight. You're losing inches. Your dress size, I mean, I think you've come down, what, like 6 dress sizes or something?
Yeah.
Like, all of that is amazing, right? And that's what so many of us think we want. I want to lose weight. I want to be in smaller clothes. But it's so that you can go do these things. I know plenty of people that are smaller that wouldn't be able to do a push mower for 4 hours.
Oh, and I said, I told Rod, I was like, it's really good that it's not super hot right now, because I have a very low heat tolerance. Doing finish line at BMX, I pretty much,
it's hot.
Myself up I do it. That was several years ago, but ever since then, I just can't tolerate heat. So I've been very excited about the fact that it's been cooler for those 3 weeks that I push mode.
Yep.
And I didn't do it all in one.
No, thing. But don't minimize that. It's huge. Yeah, it really is.
But you know what? I couldn't have done it. I could not have done it last year. And we got it done now. Rod and I are doing our own lawn, and we can do it in 2 hours. He will ride the mower and do that, and I go around and do push mowing around the swimming pool and things like that. Yeah, he gets to ride. I do the push mowing.
This is what I love about the two of you. You do things together, you work together. And so couples that do this together, and honestly, husbands that believe their wives. And there's a lot of times we'll be talking to a woman and she's like, I have to talk to my husband. And then the husband is like, why can't you just do it yourself? Why do you need to, bring somebody on board to do this? And
but I don't know. I feel like it's been easy because we work so well together.
Yes.
If I could do it by myself,
it
would be more struggle.
Yep.
It really would.
I mean, and again, that can't be a racket, right? We can't tell ourselves, well, my husband doesn't support me, so I can't do it. But husbands out there, believe your wives, they're going through more struggle than you realize. They've got more of these like, you know, body image, dieting, PTSD, what I call it, and doing this together. And this isn't even like, even if Rod, you didn't have weight to lose or your health to be thinking about, understanding blood sugar stabilization and how all of our bodies work is important. And now, you know, you can even teach your grandchildren, right? Because that's what this is about. You would never have your grandchildren do the sleeve or do a diet or, you know, restrict carbs. And now you can teach them truly what I think is generational change.
And I think that, you know, like you say, you have to model it so they can see it. I will say this, I have my mom living with it. She lives with us.
Okay.
My sister here. My dad passed in 2015, but he was a very brittle diabetic. And I have two sisters and a brother who are not controlled diabetics.
Yep.
And I really want to share with them, you know, one of my sisters, I've convinced her to start working out with our trainer. I'm hoping I can get her.
You're literally influencing all the people around you. And that's what I mean. Because you said no to certain things and put boundaries up, but show up for yourselves. You guys do morning time together every day. You're working out together. You're modeling this for other people, and it becomes an inspiration. You said yes to yourself so that not only can you live a life of serving, but then you can influence others to do, and then they can do. And it's just so amazing. And you guys really are a force to be reckoned with. You've continued to support each other through all of these years. And what I love about this now is you set this foundation, and you've been married for more than 30 years, but it's a great metaphor for what is, I think, missing in so many approaches, right? Sure, you took about 3 months to be able to learn, implement, be coached, modify, dig into your own mindsets. And that's really what I call the honeymoon. And now the relationship between you and your own bodies and how you deal with things when life throws curveballs at you is where the marriage comes in. And you've already proven that you know how to cultivate a marriage between the two of you. And now you are working on cultivating the marriage between you and you. And that's why being a part of our family is a lifetime. And that in a year from now, we'll still be connected. In 2 years from now, we'll still be connected. But also, you're going to continue to show up for yourself and cultivate this relationship. You're going to still be at all of my coaching calls. You're going to be at our workshops every month that we hold, so that you can continue to cultivate this marriage just like you've cultivated your marriage. And I think that's so important. It's even more important, you know, the first 3 months, I think, are that foundation setting. But if you don't continue to show up, you're never going to see the progress in your health and in your confidence. So the two of you just have to keep working on it.
You learn to listen to your body. Your body's telling you, hey, what's going on, you know?
Yeah.
And when I'm not eating right during the daytime, I get clumsy. So that's my cue. Hey, okay, I need to slow down, eat something or whatever, you know?
Yep. I love it. You're fueling yourselves. Well, you guys, you're an inspiration. I'm so excited that our community got to meet you both, and you really are a force to be reckoned with. And I want us to be checking back in with you in a year and see where you are. Is that a deal?
Yep. A deal.
I'm going to hold you to that.
Sounds good.
We'll be there.
Thank you, guys.